Shout out to the band.
Combat Jack providing
Bando.
the theme music.
Yep.
Bando.
Singing already. Here we
Already.
go.
Bando.
Here we go. Here we go. We're live in studio, Jay.
Yeah, we're finally here.
Season 2, episode 2.
Two from,
Sit down.
from the actual studio.
Yep.
What up, what up, what up?
With Reggie, a.k.a. Combat Jack.
Salute, salute.
Premium Pete.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brooklyn's very own, right?
Yes, yes.
And, of course, my co-host, Sneaker Sensei in the house.
Knee is better. I'm here.
You're here. We're here.
I'm here.
This is a nice setup, man.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, man.
Hey, man, thanks for coming on. This is some good stuff. We got a lot to talk about.
Okay, what are we talking about?
We want to get right to it.
Okay, what are we getting into, man?
So much stuff happened. Did you guys see? Jay, I know you saw it. Dude got scammed for $30,000.
Right.
In a sneaker game.
Right.
Did you hear about this?
I didn't hear that.
Tell me, give me a little background, Drew.
So, I don't know all the facts. So let me start there. I don't know all the facts.
The big shout out to the homeboy Ray P.
Ray P breaks the story.
Shoe game.
Breaks the story.
Yep, the shoe game. So Ray breaks the story on a shoe game, and it's an eBay thing. He posts a picture which allegedly wasn't even his picture, so we don't know whether the guy had the shoes or not.
Stolen picture.
Allegedly stolen picture.
Okay.
6 pairs of LeBron Palmer, LeBron 9s, I believe.
Lows.
Lows.
Exclusive. Very exclusive.
Very rare.
Fire.
Kid goes to buy them. 30,000 is the number thrown
For
out.
5 pair.
5 or 6 pair, whatever it was.
It was 5 pair.
Supposedly the story goes, he ships, he doesn't ship, he gives them to a girl.
The
kid
wire
wired
transfer.
the money to
Wired
his
transfer.
bank account. Now the kid is claiming no shoes.
Right.
Who's the seller?
The seller is a guy named Chris. His Twitter
Is that
ad is
Crispy?
Crispy. You know
As
him?
far as I know, I don't know him.
Okay.
We come across each other. As far as I know, he come off to be a
Hey,
decent,
yo.
decent dude.
Right. I spoke to him on the phone.
He come- I
was
mean,
gonna
I
get him on
don't
the
know
show.
about people's selling history. I know that he
Mhm.
was pushing a lot of kicks. I've seen him over the years.
Right.
But I mean, as far as I know,
This
didn't-
isn't the
didn't
first
come
time
off to
he's
me.
been accused of shenanigans.
Well,
Where there's smoke, there's fire, yo.
before we get into the kid Chris, let's get into the dude who would actually fork over $30K for some sneakers. Like, who does that?
Was he sitting on paper like that?
He probably didn't own his own house.
Right.
He probably didn't have his own car. He
Or maybe he was enthusiastic about jumping into the shoe game and had some pictures.
maybe.
And I mean, at the end of the day, money does buy you credibility.
But I
So
could
it
think
is
about
what it
10 other things that you could do with $30K to buy
Or
some
10 other
LeBrons.
sneakers.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, he could have had hundreds of pairs.
Now, Combat, as in your past life,
Yeah.
and in present, you're a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
That guy who sent that $30K, is he protected?
It's funny. I got caught out there years ago on eBay. Somebody sent me some fraudulent material.
Was it an African dude that said he needed your social security
it was
number?
like this little Russian. It was like a little Russian teenager,
Oh,
and-
played your heartstrings?
and I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know how to get through eBay, and I think there's language in there saying that you're at risk.
Right.
It doesn't guarantee you. That platform doesn't guarantee you the validity of the merchandise that you're getting.
Correct.
But I somehow, like about 6 or 7 years ago, I tracked the kid down, so I found his number,
Right.
and I just started saying, "Listen, B." He was somewhere in Atlanta. I was like, "Listen, you got it."
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you
No,
off.
that's all right.
I'm not picking up audio for combat
Why not?
on the screen.
Testing.
I'm not picking up audio. I'm picking it up on my mic.
Okay, well, Combat, give me another test.
I'm not
Testing,
picking it up on
testing,
your
1,
mic
2.
either, Jay.
Well, I am.
Testing. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Over here, but I'm saying on the Hangout.
If you can hear if you're picking up yours, or you're picking up ours.
I don't know.
Technical
I'm just
difficulties.
saying it's not lighting up green on my screen.
Internet's what's up?
I just want to make sure.
Okay.
Now they're saying on social media they can't hear us.
Y'all can't hear us?
No,
Hear
we're way out here.
Oh, try
with
now.
technical.
Try now.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Go again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Jay, turn yours
you
up.
hear me
Yo,
now?
I heard it.
I think
I'm up.
I think the whole first 7 minutes of the show, Jay, I don't think anybody heard shit.
You know why? There was a loose plug over here. I just unloosened it.
This is the second show and second technical trouble.
Yo,
This is beautiful right here.
this is history.
This is organic, B.
in Pete's
Yo,
burping.
hey, B. You fucking I'm burping. I'm smelling pastrami and mustard, man.
Mustard on that beat,
First of
huh?
all,
I'm not here for that.
I'm
Jesus.
That doesn't smell. That's first of all.
Yo,
Doesn't
Second
sound.
of all, I don't like this fucking sharing a mic shit, man.
So
yo,
let's
hold
get
my
back.
mic, son. Hold my
No,
mic.
no.
Let's get back to a quick recap. Talking about
So I had to chase this kid down
right,
and threaten the hell out of this kid
Right.
before I got my money back.
right. So
But I mean, it's caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware.
right. So the kid that sent the 30K out.
Yeah.
He's kind of SOL.
Yeah.
Shit out of luck.
Yes.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
imagine. I mean, I would imagine so, unless he can find this kid and bring in civil suit or sue this kid
Right.
for like fraud. But he's got to track the kid down and sue him if he could identify this kid.
Okay.
But it sounds like there was some type of fraudulent activity going on in this transaction.
And this is
Well,
not
the
the
kid's
first-
overseas supposedly. So now
The seller's overseas.
No,
Or the buyer's
the
overseas.
buyer, the seller's in Jersey.
Yo.
Hmm.
Yo, son.
I spoke to him on the phone because
You spoke to the seller.
I spoke to the guy who received the 30,000, the seller.
I like
Shady.
I like the way I tell you, Don Drew is becoming like the shop steward of the fucking sneaker club. This fucking guy butts his nose in everything. He
But
wants
listen,
to find out
but
everything.
Pete,
No.
I got a show to
it's-
do.
It's true. It's
Listen,
true.
I got a
It's
show to
true.
do. I got a
It's
show to
true.
do. So I'm like, oh, somebody got robbed.
Yeah.
Let me get him on the show. You know?
Talk to you, bro.
Yeah, like listen.
You know what? Can we rewind for a bit? I don't want to take the show over. I just want to rewind and say,
Yeah.
congratulations, man, on the second
Thank
season
you,
of this
thank
show.
you,
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And what the hell am I doing here? I'm not a sneakerhead like you guys.
Well,
We're gonna intro you.
We're gonna intro you.
We're jumping you right.
I mean,
Well-
I know how you sneaker guys are out there, and I can imagine there's some fucky bergs. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing in the comments? Like, what the fuck is he doing?
yeah.
Probably some somebody saying who the fuck is Combat Jack.
Yeah.
And there's probably people saying who the fuck am I? But at the end of the day, it's funny because I was telling them, and congratulations also, but like the artwork for the sit down has been so shady. I mean, I don't know who has done it, but they definitely did it in like a notepad.
Yo, you
and-
throwing shots, man?
No, I'm being
big
honest.
shots.
I'm
He's
being
throwing
honest.
I feel so
shots.
So
funny
then all of a
talking
sudden-
in the mic this close to you.
Yeah, I know. Pause.
Yo,
Pause. to this
don't
whole thing.
fucking
So wait,
burp
so
again,
so
man.
so so you don't like our logo?
No,
I
it's
loved
not
it.
logo.
Talking about last season, talking about last
talking
season.
about the images, the image work. So when you guys spoke to us about being on the show, and I get this image back, I'm like, wow, this fucking image is incredible. But all I see is Combat's face on there, and I'm like, where the hell am I? Guys,
Top billing,
guys
son.
put me in the fine print. So I'm like, okay. Sit down has become hype beast. Jumping on the Combat Jack wave.
Nah, I appreciate the fly. I appreciate the artwork.
Have him in the hat with his head
Jay,
to
we
face. I'm like,
got to go out of order a little bit because of the way the show kind of went, and
Okay.
I want to throw this. So, the Combat Jack show, is it just me, or I feel like it's doing like real good right now?
It took a step to the top. It
So you
took
guys
a
were on
vertical.
Complex,
Yes, we were on Complex.
right?
But before we were on Complex, we were still doing the podcast.
You were in my
So-
you was in Brooklyn in
We had the PNC.
Charge FM.
Well, before
Yeah,
Charge,
before
we were at
Charge.
PNC.
Right.
We were at PNC,
PNC.
Radio. Charge came in and they rented the other half of the studio,
Right.
but we were at PNC. We
I had
started
the
out
opportunity
PNC
to come
Radio.
sit in your show when you had Eric Sermon there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a great
Yes,
show.
yes. I remember that. Yes.
It was about 105 degrees
Yes,
in
it
there.
was. It was. But we started out on internet radio, and I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do.
Right.
I said what this was, and slowly the thing took off, man. And we went from it was myself, Dallas Penn. It was initially me and Dallas Penn,
Right,
and we were gonna sit down and just talk shit.
right.
And we did for like about 3 or 4 or 5 episodes, and then we got our first guest, which was DJ Clark Kent,
Right,
Sean Price, and Matthew Ragazzino.
right.
And then it kind of started morphing into like this, this fucking clubhouse thing where we talk shit and then cats would come through. And then slowly along the way, one day, Dallas Penn brings this dude, Premium Pete. I had no shit about Premium Pete. Premium Pete was this real humble dude. He used to bring snacks. He used to always bring snacks. So
Why is that? Is that a enormous surprise?
yeah, he used to bring snacks and beers, and his official title was the concierge, because he would come in and he'd be so, but like about 10, 15 episodes in, I noticed he started sitting real closer to the mic and
Right.
talking and
He was trying to make a move.
and putting some words in, and I was like, damn, this dude is thirsty. It's real thirsty, and I realized the more we went, I couldn't control his thirst. You know what I'm saying?
Because when I first visited and Pete was there, I was wondering what he was doing there because I know Pete from the sneaker community.
Right.
So I was like, what is he doing with these roughnecks in here? And there was mad Heineken caps on the floor.
He was serving everybody beers. You know what I'm saying?
So,
It looked like a bar in there.
so you guys are doing the independent podcast.
Yes.
You get picked up by Complex.
Well, we were doing a TV show with Complex, but we were still running our podcast independently.
Well, so where I'm going with this is, I felt like I wasn't hearing nothing about the Combat Jack show during that Complex run. Now all of a sudden you're off Complex, and everywhere I turn around, it's the fucking Combat Jack show.
Without the big machine.
With guests, like everywhere, good guests.
Hey,
What
man,
happened?
I mean, we're just doing good work. We're doing good work. You know, I think that the great thing about being independent is we're not really controlled by corporate. We're not really controlled by sponsors. So we don't have any kind of like
similar to our mantra.
Yeah, we don't have
that's
any restrictive form.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, the word is getting out. We've had some milestone episodes that continue to push the show to a higher plateau.
Right.
So when does
last year
the show air?
the show airs mostly every Tuesday.
Okay.
We post the shows on iTunes. We have a deal with iTunes where we have, you know, prominent real estate, and we have a great deal with SoundCloud because we're helping them change their platform.
Right.
You know, so we air every Tuesdays, but you know, this is the internet, so sometimes like this past episode we aired it yesterday, Wednesday.
Right.
You know, but we air every week.
Right. Same with like, you know,
And people start hearing about us, and this week I'm sitting in my crib, I get this phone call, and it's fucking Ice-T.
you mean like
So Ice-T
ponytail,
picks up the phone.
And Ice-T is
Cocoa
like,
Ice-T?
I want to come on the show.
So you look at your phone, and did you recognize the number? Or
Nah, I mean,
Jersey
we
number.
were going back and forth on Twitter. DM, he says, send me your number, and then a couple of hours later, this unknown call comes in, and I pick up, and it's fucking Ice-T.
like, yo, what up, Combat?
And
It's
he's
Ice.
telling me the good things that he's heard about the show, and he's praising the show and its cultural relevance. And at the end of the day, man, that shit feels so good, man.
Right.
So I think that's a good place since you touched on cultural relevance. Jay, I know we wanted to talk about kind of in the sneaker game, but I think we can talk about it culturally as a whole, kind of the merge of young versus old.
Now, when I got into this, and Pete and I talk about this all the time, is that we're cut from all of us sitting at the table cut from a certain
This is a
era.
30+ table.
Yeah, at a certain era
Some
of
40.
sneaker culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what I see, and Pete and I run into this a lot, is that when we talk to the youth about the culture in which we grew up in, we're considered complaining or hating or
Old heads always mad about
be
something.
like, yeah. But in reality,
Right.
you know, I understand that the young kids in us, it's important if we want to advance, we have to adopt some of them, you know, adopt their practices. But the point of us telling them what it was like, not to kind of come down on them, but to have them enjoy the biggest and the best times of my life sneakerly was in the 90s,
Right.
early
Which
2000s.
was probably the best time of the genre.
It was a
Right.
golden era of hip hop. It was
And we really want them, like, we think that we want to welcome everybody to the sneaker game.
Right.
We want to welcome everyone, but I guess maybe it's a little idealistic of us, Jay, but I think that we hope, anyways, that they can embrace the history of
Right.
the shoes that are being retro today and where they came from.
because I feel
And
like
the
sneaker. I
stories
feel like
that-
sneaker culture is one of the few cultures that's even surpassed music, in which, perfect example, Reggie, your 12-year-old son, and you can relate on a certain level.
Yes.
He,
Hold on,
he-
his sneaker game.
no,
is
but
that.
what I'm saying is that he's talking about sneakers that he wants that you were there when it came out. You remember that sport moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
That he's waiting for the Jordan 3s. He's waiting for the Jordan 12s. You remember that flu game.
Yeah.
You were there. So it's a bonding type of experience.
Yeah,
you know?
generational bonding thing.
It's almost, it's better than baseball cards. It's better than
It is.
comic books, and it's better than music, because even the music in the golden era is different to what they listen to
But
now.
I would say it's almost the same thing as music, because
To a certain respect.
my oldest son is 17 years old,
Right.
and I introduced him to music. You know what I'm saying?
Well, music was your profession.
Music was my profession because it was my passion.
Right.
So I introduced him to music, and now that he's older, he's introducing me to music. But at the same time, we have common tastes. Like, we will talk about, like, we both get excited when Kanye is about to drop.
And that's the bond. That's the bridge.
That's the bridge.
Now, Pete, I was on the phone with you the other day. You had some good insights to how we, you know, with the young kids and us old heads, and you know, share with me what share with the people out there what you was telling me.
Well, if you want me to remember what I said to you
Not
a couple
verbatim.
days ago,
Not verbatim.
that's highly impossible.
Right.
But, I mean, we could. You just want to break down what being older. In
Yeah,
the
but
sneaker-
just how we how we have to get along and how it's.
No. I mean, I think that like for instance, I'll give you an example. We'll throw it back on Don Drew. I'm sure there's a lot of young kids that are probably they'll be like mosquitoes in his ear, or they'll like make him annoyed and be flustered about things like, why is this kid doing this and why is this, and I was telling Jay that we need to sometimes take heed to a lot of these younger kids and really like teach them. I know a lot of like dudes that like even like growing up, like I know a lot of like I remember being in a group home and I remember like there was like these kids that were real thuggish and they didn't want to hear shit, and they were Latin kings and different bloods, but I remember certain kids being able to speak to them that were relatable. So when you're in the sneaker culture, you can relate to people. So a lot of these young kids, they don't want to hear shit. That's because most of the people are talking to them from a sense of hierarchy, in a sense of like
They're preaching down to them.
Yeah. So that's why like I always told people like I love all the knowledge and the relationships and the people I've met and the things I have done through sneakers. But I hate when someone knows something so well that they shit on other people.
Act like a
Because a
know-it-all,
lot of
right?
these people,
Yep.
like believe it or not, if you take the moment to put them underneath the wing, they'll appreciate that. Now, and even a kid that comes off tough or comes off, talking like, because they want to know. It's almost like with girls in sneaker culture. I always tell people I go to these events, and I've been to so many events. I mean, I've been flown to all around the world to events. I've been
All
to so
around
many
the
events.
world?
I mean, Toronto. I've been to in London.
You
I've
came
been,
to our event at UConn.
I've been to. I'm talking about back when
knows how
nobody was going.
through in UConn as all around the world.
Big up yourself.
Big up,
No.
just all around the world. He went to London, UConn.
Right.
No. London, Toronto, Houston. I've been, I could keep on going. Miami. I've been to so many events, so many. At one point in time, that's all I did was go to events. Back in 2000, maybe 10. That's all I did was go to events. Even back, like people won't even remember this, but even when Flex had the international sneaker battle, and then even when they had sold out.
Who?
Sold out.
Who had the international sneaker?
Oh, forget about that. I know the place, but I'm just explaining what it was.
You mean Mr. Lugs?
It was.
What's wrong with
It brought
driving
people
shoes?
together. It
Huh?
brought people
What's wrong with
together. That
driving
international
shoes?
sneaker
Nothing.
battle.
You ever had a pair of driving shoes?
Never.
Okay.
He can't fit his fat feet in driving shoes.
I never had a pair of driving shoes either. But
Neither did most of America.
that's neither here nor there.
But
So,
it's okay.
Jay, you said this earlier. Combat's first pair of shoes,
No, first pair of Jordans.
first pair of Jordans.
He copped.
He didn't cop.
Oh, he didn't
They were-
cop.
they were
Mayor-
gifted.
He
Gifted.
Mayor gave me.
He
Gifted.
received his first pair of Jordans
And how old?
at the
40.
tender age of 40.
40 years old.
So I'm sitting next to a newbie in a sneaker.
Yeah, but I'm not. See, you got to understand. That's why I asked you guys when we started. Why am I on this show? I'm not in the sneaker.
Because Pete said that you come as a package, and we wanted Pete. We don't
Hey,
give a
hey, yo, hey, yo.
First of all,
shit about you.
internet. If they wanted me, they would have made this flyer having me on there like
Well,
this small.
Well, your ego.
Like,
we knew about your ego.
no,
so
it ain't
when we
about
called
ego.
Combat said, "Do me a favor. Make sure Pete is on the underbill."
Nah, Combat wouldn't say that.
Listen, man. When the shoe, when the Jordans dropped,
Right.
I was studying in college.
Right.
And I was in law school, so my world was completely different
Right.
from the cats that was going crazy
Right.
over shoes.
And then when you finally got
Then
out and
when
got your dough up,
No. Then when I got my dough up,
you
I was
spent it on a leather vest.
I spent
That's
it.
fact.
I spent
Turtleneck.
it on Gucci loafers
Ooh.
and
Gucci
purple label
loafers.
suits
Oh, kill him.
and Gucci ties. You know what I'm saying? I was
Okay.
a professional, so it wasn't.
And we got a dusty
And
T-shirt. You
overalls.
couldn't come to
No,
the sit
dude,
down wearing
wait,
Gucci.
dude,
And
this-
overalls.
This ain't dusty.
As
dude.
well.
It looks a
This
little
ain't
dusty.
dusty,
I'm
B.
saying it's looking
This
a
is
little
this-
dusty. I
This
don't
is the
know.
Indian lowhead, B.
Yo, he
Oh,
bought
no,
it
this
like
is
that. He
Indian
bought it
lowhead,
like that.
son.
Sorry.
Yo, call up-
dusty to
this
me.
is brand new. Get the low. What up?
Call up Dallas Penn to authenticate that.
This is right here. It's
That's
flourishment.
not Bandu. That's
What up, Dallas? This is
That's
official.
not Bondu.
But you gotta understand. So like I'm in my second childhood right now. The
Right.
whole Combat Jack show thing is my second childhood.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about the restrictions of suits and corporate and legal and the whole nine. And it's like, you know what? Like when I started doing this, it's like, yo, I love this internet game. I love the fact that my whole world is open up to a younger generation.
Right.
And I never had Jordan.
But you know what else? You know what you can compare it to? Like that kid that went to Catholic school.
Yes.
He needed to wear the loafers all the time. He was from the hood, but he didn't really get up on it because he never got a chance to wear them.
Exactly.
You're that kid that went to Catholic school.
And you know who else I mean, he's younger, and I'm sure he's closer to the culture. But it reminds me of Just Blaze. Just Blaze was this kid who was so smart and so into school and books and technology.
Right.
And when he really popped with The Rock and got a lifestyle where he could afford the, he's into toys and comic books.
Now is he a pocket nerd?
No, he's an open nerd.
Okay.
He's an open nerd, but like
Production is on point.
his production is on
crazy.
point. He owns every piece of low that you can find on the planet. But he's a big kid because he didn't get a chance to be a kid when he was younger. And I would say the same thing. I was real serious 10 years ago.
So how many pair of sneakers do you have right now, Combat?
How many pairs of sneakers do I have, Ty? Would you say? How many J's am I sitting on? About 15, 12, 15. I got about 20.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, but you know, this is a couple of years in the game.
That's a good ratio.
But my goal was at this point, I don't ever fucking want to wear loafers again in my life. If I could go through the rest of my life till I drop wearing a pair of J's, I'm good.
Now, we tell everybody where you're from, Combat.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York, Crown Heights.
Now, growing up,
So everybody hold
on a second. Hold on. Now, what was the sneakers that were popping like when you were?
Dude, I'm first generation hip hop.
Right.
So it was the shell toe and it was the Puma Clydes. Everybody had to have a pair of those. Like my first pair, like when I started work, my first job solely was like I was a street messenger. Was solely to get a pair of shell toes.
Was that a legal street messenger? Because you
no,
said
legal
you from
down in Wall Street. I was working in the Wall Street,
I'm
like
just checking.
foot messenger.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but my first pair of shoes, like I'm not in the shoe game like that, but I worked my ass off to get my first pair of shell toe. That was big. That's when cats were knocking you out and taking them off your feet.
Well, I think what the people who don't know Combat Jack, he's entrenched in the hip hop world, and I saw you guys on the Artie Lang show.
Yes.
I saw these two guys on the Artie Lang show.
What up, Artie Lang? I love Artie, man.
And you guys were talking about Jay-Z.
Yes.
So you go back with Jay.
I represented Jay for about 4 or 5 years with Damon, and I was there when Clark and Dame and Biggs and Jay put the whole Rockefeller thing together. We used to knock. I mean, I was one of those guys that was with them knocking on every door trying to get a deal. And I think when I first met Jay-Z, he came to my office, and this is when Silver was big. And I didn't know who the hell Jay-Z was, and DJ Clark Kent introduced me to Jay-Z. So Jay-Z's sitting in the office, and I'm like, yo, he was wearing some jewelry, and I was like, yo, I never seen no silver like that. And I think
it was like truck silver.
No, it was platinum.
Oh,
it was platinum. But he, him being so cocky and arrogant from day one, laughed and didn't even tell me what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So in that line where he's talking about he thought it was silver.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that line was directed to me because I was like, yo, is that silver? So I've known Jay-Z like from before, like when he was the least likely to succeed.
Like Jazzo Jay-Z.
Like
Hawaiian Soviet.
right at the end of the Hawaiian original flavor Jay-Z.
Original flavor. When he was Mickey Mike the Mike.
I worked that project.
Yeah, I remember that Jay-Z.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
So Artie told a story.
Yes.
About Jay in Miami.
In the elevator.
Yes. I was gonna cue it up for the people. You think the people would like that?
They would love it.
Let's see if we can cue this up.
That's a good shot, man.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
How long ago was this?
I think that was like about it was last summer.
Right. So I'm gonna cue this up and see if we can play this for the people and hear the story that Artie tells about Jay. When you and Pete were on the show, because I think it's a pretty good story. I think they would like it. So let's see.
Internet.
Hopefully they can hear it.
Artie Lang smokes a lot.
Better than being on drugs.
True.
I think I was. don't know if they can hear the clip.
Can they?
They can't hear it.
Yeah, I see the video, but if they can't hear it,
Yeah.
send them a link. We'll put the link of it.
Yeah, we'll put the
We'll link it up. But paraphrase and let's get the clip going.
Right.
We're still trying to learn how to use all this equipment in here.
Yeah, we don't
We're
know
not
how to
used
do
to all
it.
this nice shit.
Y'all got to power through it, man.
Yeah, we got to power through it.
Power through.
I like that. Power through.
I like
Right.
that. I like that wristwatchery we got right there, man.
Yeah,
Is it Mephisto or what?
yeah. It's a Meister.
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 I like that. I like that.
Big shout out to my man Ryan.
It's a nice piece. Right
My man Ryan in LA, he keeps me hot with the little.
Well,
Meister
anyway, so
watches.
the clip was
Artie's in an elevator with some you know some guys. You know what I'm saying?
some big mouth Italian kids from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
You could hear
and
it.
this kid walks in.
Go ahead.
So they're in he like as he you know one of Artie's friends just lost big. They were in Atlantic City. They lost some big money.
Right.
This kid walks in. And it's a black kid, and they're like, "Look at this fucking moolie and whatever." And the guy that lost the money starting to talk all this shit, and like, you know, wants to take it out on somebody. So he wants to take it out on this black kid
With his buddy standing in the elevator.
with his
5-on-1.
5-on-1 with Artie in the elevator. So as the story goes, they're trying to get in the kid's face, and the kid is just being really cool. He's got his back against the door because he's not leaving his back to these guys.
Right.
He's really cool. He's not saying anything. And when the door opens, he just kind of like slides out real cool. And they're like, "Fuck you." And he's just like, "All right, whatever." And he just keeps it moving. Artie says years later, he sees the kid on the video and he's like, "Oh shit, that was Jay-Z." That was fucking Jay. Because Jay has he's got an identifiable face.
Right.
You can't forget that face.
And we know that Jay has a history of being cool in elevators.
Exactly.
As Solange.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, bong, boom, bang.
You know, he keeps it cool enough. It's not his first time getting tussled on in the elevator.
Yeah. He's got. I never put that together.
His elevator game is crazy.
Yo, Jay-Z's elevator game is God status.
So while we're talking about that,
Yeah.
you know, and we're gonna get to sneakers here, but there's so many things going on, and I guess we hope, Jay, was that the hour that we're on the air takes people away from all the bullshit going on in the world.
Right.
But I think it'd be remiss if we didn't talk about and kind of segue from Jay-Z, but if we didn't talk about what's going on in Missouri right now.
Rest in peace, Michael Brown. I got to
Word.
tell you, I was watching that footage last night of the protesters and the militarization of Ferguson,
It's crazy.
and I swear to God, be like once they lit off those
Tear gas.
the tear gas,
Yeah.
the whole nine. Yeah, I teared up, man. Like I literally teared up because
I was reminiscent of Selma, Alabama, like back in the 60s.
in
man.
2014,
Montgomery.
in 2014,
Yeah,
man.
it was-
And it's funny because I had just, Pete and I just had a very exhausting debate with Charlemagne about race and
Right.
white privilege yesterday.
Yeah, the white
So,
privilege.
it was just race was all over the place.
Right.
And when I get home to decompress, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, yo, what is it? Like, when is this thing going to end?
Right. And I just felt like we couldn't ignore it as journalists and as people that have a voice out there. We have to really, speak up. And to me, I think that it just doesn't affect one race what's going on because
We're in this thing
'cause-
together.
yeah, 'cause Mike Brown could be any
Yes.
one of us. It could be Pete, it could be Drew, it could be any one of us. It's the mentality of the police, and it just shows you how quickly your quiet little quaint town can be. You ever see that movie Red Dawn?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How they had dudes in there with high powered rifles, M16, like
Yo, that little noise, that horn thing,
yeah.
that was set off. Like I didn't know what it was, but one of my boys was in the military, and he said in Afghanistan they set those things off, the noise, whatever that horn thing
Right.
was, to disorient you.
Right.
But I got to tell you, man, what really angered me more last night was some of our colleagues that remained silent with
Right.
this thing.
And that's what I wanted to get into too, because I think that I said something on the internet, and this was just totally my views. I said like the internet's out there was very quick to find a picture of Robin Williams. No disrespect, may he rest in peace, of Robin Williams and do all the RIPs because it was trending, but nobody wanted to be first to market with the RIP Mike Brown or Gardner or nobody like that. It's like, when Robin Williams had his demons, and I'm not trying to, say anything bad about
No
the man.
tragedy is greater than somebody else's tragedy.
Right, but what I'm saying is that this is something. Robin Williams was a very rich, Hollywood icon that had his own demons. Like Mike Brown is something that we can relate to, something that relates to our kids, something that all you guys like that shit happens to you. No, Jordans don't matter, sneaker shows don't matter. Like there's this kid got shot through a window of a cop car, So I just felt, and I posted that we just need to be more conscious, and it just seems like when stuff like this comes up, our icons in Hollywood and in professional sports sometimes are hidden. I'm not going to call anybody out, but I feel that there hasn't been an athlete, since the great Muhammad Ali that was willing to make that sacrifice because of that Gatorade contract or that Duracell contract, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but keep in mind when Trayvon Martin passed away, there was tons of athletes who had their hoodies on, that took pictures, and there was tons of people worldwide.
But when it got trending,
I think it was trending.
When it got
I know, but we're not. I mean, some were before it was trending, some were after. It wasn't, we're not here to analyze every single, high-profile person that's getting involved. I mean,
but to me, I think the Mike Brown situation is more tragic than the Donald Sterling situation.
And we don't want,
and athletes came in arms on that.
We don't want this show to become
a
political.
At all.
That's not where people are here to escape that.
Right. We just had to touch on it.
We had to touch on it because
I wish that everybody finds a peaceful solution in Ferguson. I just want everybody to pay attention to what's going on because Ferguson could be your hood.
Yep. Can I just make one more statement about this? I read a brilliant article today in Esquire magazine called Afraid. And it was written by one of these journalists who was saying that, particularly white journalists are really afraid to stick their neck out for whatever reason because they feel that they're removed from the situation or whatever. Or also that if they speak too loudly about this, then they'll start being treated like black people. Right. They were like, look, this is an issue that if this is happening in Ferguson where there's military tanks in a neighborhood, a neighborhood, this can happen anywhere. So it's kind of like a call to arms for everybody.
Right.
It's not just a black issue.
No.
This is an American issue.
No, because there's blacks and whites hand in hand walking in the streets of Ferguson right now.
Exactly. And I applaud that, man.
Pete.
Yeah.
Founder of SneakerTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to us about SneakerTube, how it came about, and where it is right now.
Well, SneakerTube is more just like a hub now, hub for videos. It's an idea I had like in 2010. I wanted to do something where the community could come together and have like, a place to, share videos and stuff like that. So, I put a lot of time into it, and, we had a lot of good things that we did with it. Like we had like these Rep Your Sneakerhood contests that we done, and, people came together and stuff.
Is it true you sold it for $1 million?
No, I didn't sell it.
You sold it for $1 million?
No, if I was, I wouldn't be here right now.
Well,
why wouldn't you be here right now?
We had one of your guys, Dallas Penn. We had him at our announcement party.
Right.
So
what up?
So we got Dallas, and I invited you, Pete. You didn't come.
I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I do about 71 things.
I wasn't feeling no type of way. But Dallas
a
is
little
there.
type of way?
Nah, not even a little. So
why bring it up then?
Well, because I'm about to tell you about Dallas.
It's a segue into BS.
Right. I'm trying to get into
Look at Pete's face.
Let it flow, man. Fall back.
Pete's mad.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying.
Pete
you wasted. I'm looking at this fucking clock. I'm like, no, these people. This could be the fucking 37 minutes. We ain't even talking about no fucking sneakers.
For the record,
you got this fucking guy's face on the fucking
Premium
picture.
Pete is the shooter out the crew. He's the shooter.
So Dallas Penn's at the he's at the party.
Okay.
And we ask him, so he's got this camera and he's all in our face.
That's how he does.
Internet's what's going on, Dallas Penn in here. So yeah,
keep on pouring the Hennessy.
All of that. Pour the Hennessy, right? Drunk. So we go, Dallas, what's going on? We don't see you with Combat and Pete anymore. What's going on? And he goes, oh, well, me and Jay look at each other,
We're like,
and just like with the scammer, my eyes lit up.
Right away, the shop.
My eyes are lighting up.
The shop steward of the sneaker culture,
right.
Don Drew.
That's right. Here I am.
Yeah.
So I wanted to stir it up, So he didn't actually say anything, but he kept making these faces and looking like.
I think it was the Hennessy.
It was stuff there. So Jay picked up on it too. So Jay went and pressed him a little. Dallas, what's going on? You're not with them? Well, I don't know. I'm doing my own thing right now. So we were kind of doing a Birdman hand rub, getting ready to have you guys in, kind of stir some shit up. And then today, we see Dallas Penn all over the place with you guys. So you guys back.
So the Fat Boys didn't break up.
Okay.
The Fat Boys didn't break up.
So, you guys read comic books?
All the time.
You guys know about the Avengers?
Of course.
Out of the Avengers, I would say I'm probably Tony Stark's.
Right.
And Dallas Penn is the Hulk.
Got you. He only comes in when you need him.
He only comes in when he wants to come
Right.
in. You know what I'm saying?
Hulk
But
smash.
the Avengers got to keep moving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But every now and then,
Right.
like this week, Dallas came out of nowhere. Bruce Banner. It was like, yo, is it cool if I mount up with the Avengers? You're always gonna be an Avenger. You're always gonna be a member of the combat.
He's like Jerobi.
You know, we used to joke back when Dallas
He's like
Penn,
Jerobi.
when we were moving smoothly with Dallas Penn, and he started acting, kind of erratic. We were
Right.
like, yo, like we used to have
That was a political way to say wild.
Intervention?
we used to have an inside joke. I was like, yo, don't be the Jerobi of the crew.
But you look at the documentary, Jerobi's always Tribe Called Quest.
And Dallas Penn is always like Dallas Penn is a founding member.
Right.
I wouldn't be doing this
Right.
if it wasn't for Dallas Penn. I got a call from Dallas Penn one day and said, yo, do you want to do internet radio?
And he got your low game up, I see.
Dallas Penn.
Got your low game
Got
right.
the low game up, sneaker game up, all of that. Owe that to Premium Pete and Dallas Penn. Although I don't appreciate a couple of years ago, Premium Pete was standing in the corner with my wife like, yo, we got your husband's game up.
No.
Oh.
Whoa. So wait a minute.
We got his whole
Here goes
speech.
Yo, we were at a party in the
She
Hamptons,
got mad.
and
Wait, you were in the Hamptons?
of
They got
course,
you in-
what do you do? We
in the
living good,
Hamptons,
fucking
look at
Don
that.
Drake. Okay, we
Jay, we don't get to go to the Hamptons.
I don't know about you. I'm in the Hamptons, B.
You ain't in the Hamptons.
I'm in
You're
the
in
Hamptons.
Stamford, Connecticut.
Listen,
I'm in
we
the
got-
Hamptons, B.
We,
You don't
how
know what I
about,
do.
I didn't know that you were going to take it that way, so I'll explain the story better. We got.
I didn't take it away.
We got.
She took it away. She's
we
like,
got-
no. It's like your friends are fucking shitting on you.
Listen, never happened. First of all, for Donjo, we got escorted to the Hamptons. Okay,
Look at
so
these
we'll make it sound a little bit better. But we were at by a pool. I don't remember what happened. Like Kim,
Drinks are
who his
flowing.
wife is a good friend of mine also, and
Unbelievable Kim, what up?
like I forgot what I said, but I said look at him now because he had this bucket hat. He was looking official, so I was
Swagged
like,
out.
yeah. So I was
How
like,
was I looking before,
I
man?
forgot. I don't remember, man.
Bandulu?
Bandulu. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was like, I felt I told his wife I feel like me and Dallas had something to do with that. Like we inspired
Right, I've
him.
seen old pictures of
And
you,
you know
B.
what's so crazy? She's like,
Was
she
I
didn't
looking
say
crazy?
nothing.
For the era, you was on point. I seen the pictures of you, Matt Middleton, Ed Woods.
They say that's the painted full picture right there.
That was that. Yeah, you
Had
was
the moon cut and everything.
yeah,
I had the
yeah,
Nikes on, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, the Dapper Dan joints
all
popping
of that,
up.
all of that.
He did, but I want to say we helped reinvent him. You know what I mean? In the
appreciate
sense of
They helped me transition into this generation.
yeah.
That's what they did.
Well, you have like that. Forget about it. What do you know?
All right, Pete. Back to you.
So Pete.
Back to Sneaker Tube and where it is right now.
Oh, we want to go to Sneaker Tube?
yeah,
I
we're
was gonna-
talking about sneakers right now.
Yeah,
I was
no,
going to go to
just-
sneakers.
It was something I created a long time ago, just a passion I had. You know what I mean? It was all passion. I mean, anybody who knows me, that knows me well, not that thinks they know me or knows of me, knows
Ooh.
that I have a big heart, for people,
And a big
heart
stomach.
Yeah, that too, but big heart for, like, you know what I mean? Like, for a lot of sneaker people, a lot of people, is genuine relationships. I form, like, it's crazy because people still don't understand the relationships that I formed because of sneakers. Like, I told you, I traveled the world. Forget about only sneaker events. I'm talking about from people I know. Like, I got people in Japan. I got people in Japan send me, like, Kit Kats on the regular. Just, like, just
Oh, those
because.
special joints, right?
yeah, yeah.
Your
Yeah.
snack game.
Yeah, it's
It's
official.
crazy.
It's official. And it's international, too.
So is the snack game better than the sneaker game?
I think I care more about the snack game now.
Yo, remember when Pete had those DS sample Oreo birthday cakes? He's the first one that had them.
Yo, I want to feel like I want to feel like I helped birthed some of the birthday cake Oreos. I just got behind them. I thought they were delicious.
Pete stays on DS and some snacks on.
100%.
The
best
But
is
he's not a fat boy though.
No.
Oh, I got a good
No, he's
metabolism.
about to get fat right now. I keep telling him, listen, like we three know how it is. I keep telling him, yo, Pete, you're winning the war right now, but you kind of, you got to stand ground, B. Like, do not get fat, son.
He told me an adventure he had with Dallas Penn, and he went through step to step of where they ate and what they ate. Pete, run that down real quick.
Yeah,
Is
well,
that one of the shows?
no, this is.
Check this out.
When he went on his hiatus, we went to for sushi. We spent I would say Bill was like 160, 175.
On
We had
sushi.
sushi. Me and him together.
You and Dallas.
Yeah, just
Who picked
all
up the
different
tab?
type of sushi. I'm talking about. We had fat toro, we had salmon, we had lobster
Listen
rolls,
to this shit.
like everything. Just picture two people, $175 worth of sushi. Right after that, we paid the bill. We walked down to 67 Burger, and we got a double cheeseburger, 2 burgers, and fries. And then right after that, we went for I believe it was I forgot what ice cream shop we went to. I mean, we just kept on connecting to each different spot.
This is in one day.
And then got 2 slices of pizza.
Then had a burger. Did you tell him about the burger? Then he had
White Castle. Then you went to White Castle, right?
Well, we get the clam strips from there. You know, listen, we don't
this
hold
is
nothing.
in one day.
Like you know, I like going on crawls. You know, I like going on crawls.
And we also want to point out some positive vibes too. Pete, tell us a little bit about Presence Over Presence.
Yeah, Presence Over Presence is a movement I started when, unfortunately, you know, I was a knucklehead years ago, and you know, I had to give some time to the state. But I learned, you know, from being away from my daughter at a young age, who's now going to be 15.
Jesus.
It's like a roller coaster. You know, I wanted to learn. You know, I've been a separated dad since she was 2 years old. So, you know, it was very scary being a divorced dad and you know, having to go there on the weekends. And I was like, well, I don't want to be a weekend dad. And
I heard John 97 talking about that.
and I didn't want to be a weekend dad, and I wanted, so I had to find ways to do things. What?
He was, yeah. It was a Sunday morning.
Yeah, for
Might have been Father's Day.
We don't
Three
say,
soldiers.
we don't say, you know, but we don't call out that station.
Yeah.
Like,
The other station.
yeah,
The other
the other
station.
station. Come on,
Come on, you
Drew.
gotta know
I'm
the
sorry,
etiquette.
Drew.
Drew.
Come on,
This is the Sit Down Live on New
Fucking
York's
schmutz.
#1
Don-
hip hop and
Don
R&B.
Drew is a stunad, okay? Don Drew is...
Schmutz.
But,
So go ahead, finish that.
no,
We'll
but
get
it's
to the
just
sneakers.
important to me. Presence over presence is just, to me, it's like, you know, as a parent, it's just being there. It's important, you know. It's you know, like these kids won't remember all these toys you buy them, but they'll remember the times you spent with them.
So you got to make a T-shirt, Presence Over Presence, and make sure it matches all your shoes. B.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
I'm
T-shirts.
good.
Yeah.
So, Jay, what's the pick of the week?
Oh, my pick of this week is my favorite silhouette ever, which is the Jordan 3. Jordan 3 means a lot to me. Personally, everybody knows me knows that Jordan 3 is the first
It's a
Jordan.
great shoe.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's the
As
elephant.
a newbie, that's
Yeah.
my favorite shoe.
It's
Which one, the whites or the blacks?
I fell in love with the silhouette because I think it was the most perfect shoe.
Yes.
It was the first shoe that I ever purchased that didn't have the swoosh on it, and I just thought the materials that it was made with, that leather that it was made with,
Love those.
and I just think right now when you hit that sport blue with the black and the white and Mr. Combat Jack, like I belong to a organization by the name of Phi Beta Sigma
Yes.
Incorporated.
Yes, I think I belong to the same
Yes,
organization.
we are celebrating our 100-year anniversary this
Blue
year.
Spy, Go Mom.
Yeah, and that kind of like that blue and white kind of drew. You know, I love those colors.
Yes.
I bleed those colors.
Yes.
So that shoe right there that you see on the screen right now is definitely getting copped in multiple pairs.
I was just informed that I got a pair coming for myself and this young man over here, and I'm very excited about that.
Right.
See, to me, that emotional connection that Jay just shared, like that's what sneaker game's all about, is when you connect with the shoe on a level, whatever it may be, and for everybody it could be different. And you know, like I hate the term hype beast. That's one of the terms I hate because
We know about you.
if hype is what got your connection to the shoe, who cares? Who cares?
Well, nobody wants to be. See, the word hype beast is overused, and what happens is, you know, and unfortunately, and I hate to admit this, but in all of us, there's hype beast.
There's a hype beast.
There's a hype beast at
It may
times.
not be for sneakers,
what-
but it may be for
Like
something else.
people use it as like it's almost like calling someone like a jerk off, but and that's how they take it because they're like, I'm not no hype beast. I'm not no hype beast. How am I a hype beast? That's what happens because people use it. It almost goes back to what I was saying earlier with women in the sneaker culture. Guys, you know, they put too much pressure on them. At events, I remember this time, it was like hardly any girls there. And then when girls would come, the girl would be like, oh, I got the Concord, you know, Cool Grays 11s. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? There's no such thing. You don't even know what you're talking about. Next thing you know, the girl wouldn't want to come. And I'm like, why are guys doing this, making these events sausage fests? I don't understand.
One big sword fight.
Yeah, but honestly, hype beast, you know, it's like a word used so much. You're a hype beast if you get, you know, so many pairs, if you get this, if you only buy something. Right. At the end of the day, if you love something, if you love a sneaker and you like it, buy it because you like it. Let me tell you something. One thing I learned when I finally learned how to plant my feet into this world and move and have so much confidence and love myself, I swear to God, man, I felt that I could wear whatever I want and crush it. And people would be inspired by that. And I have done that time and time again. I wear what I want. I wear what I like. Don't get me wrong. I fall to the masses because unfortunately that's what it is sometimes.
True.
But I wear what I want and
Because
I crush
you
it.
are a man.
But also I commend these young cats that out of here. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're getting like they're copping every week, and you know they're able to get 6 or 7 pairs of Yeezys and whatever it may be. I commend them, but I just think that growing up that those sneakers meant more to me, and it's a shame that they couldn't live through those eras too, because back when we came up, there was a lot of athletes that had a lot of different sneakers, and different companies were very prominent. And growing up, in our neighborhoods, like you could wear, like to me, it was all about the foreign shoes, like the Filas and the Elise, Diodoras, and because the dope boys was wearing the foreign sweatsuits, they was wearing Lecoq Todd ones, and I told Pete, Sergio Tacchini.
Come on.
And they drove,
you know how many fucking Sergio Tacchinis I had?
And they drove Saab 900S turbos.
Yo, man, with that butter leather.
with the key that sat on the bottom. It wasn't on the. So
I will say this one thing. I want to say this. It's great that these kids do. Unfortunately, we say like, how were they affording these things and flipping these things? But you know what? When I was young and foolishly, the only way I felt that you could get money was to hustle. Like I'm talking about, you could work regular job, but you weren't really getting none. So for these kids to have an avenue, like I would have loved to sell kicks back then or like that, and plus too, to be honest with you, anybody who's listening or will listen, if you're a hustler, and you're doing something wrong, you could always turn your way to the sneaker culture. Because let me tell you something, hustlers are the best salesmen. You want to go work in a Finish Line or a Foot Lock or a Modell's. Or
I think the owners of the most successful mom and pop shops are, in one way or some way, a hustler.
Yeah.
I think my man Siraj at Sneaker Room is a hustler.
Ducky from Major. Matt from Corporate.
These are all hustlers.
In Cincinnati. I mean, it takes a lot to run a shop.
Jeff.
Yeah, Dave Jeff Fly.
Hustler.
Joe at One Nest. Yeah.
So I think that's relevant also. I also think that I attribute it to my just want for sneakers because it was a status in my neighborhood. But I used to take the same fever for records. I grew up as a DJ. That's how you got props around my neighborhood if you was a DJ. I remember saving up every little bit of money, and I was at Rock and Soul down on Fulton every Saturday. Checking for the new singles, waiting for them to crack those boxes open. I was spending like $3-4 a single, but I was coming home because you had to play it at the party. If you had a party, you had to come out with that single.
What was your most valuable single, B?
Push in the bush.
No. I was a young DJ, and I remember
record though. Man.
And I remember when I used to drop that They Call Me D Nice.
Oh man.
The TR-808. You know what I'm saying? That yeah. My name is D Rice.
Taking out your suckers, and I
don't know how I did it. They don't understand, but that was just like that in the old school song that my cousin put me on. It was on 45 actually. It was PSK.
PSK, what does that mean?
Yeah, by Schoolie D. When that used to go on, I used to catch the attention of the older kids, and I was young. When that record came on, people would get $1.50 to listen. That was a murderous record. Yo, you remember I used to play at this place called The Lab.
The Lab. I remember the Lab on Fulton Street.
Yes.
Yeah, I live by the Lab, man.
Yeah,
right across from the McDonald's. Kind of like a rave right now.
No.
Dude, I live in a neighborhood. I don't want to get off track, but a couple of years ago, now that the neighborhood's going through gentrification, I'm walking home late night. I'm seeing these kids on Fulton Street in like bunny suits and looking like, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Fulton Street ain't what it used to be.
Fulton Street and no
sure ain't what it used to be.
There's bunny rabbits and gorilla suits and all types and cats with no shirts on and diapers on. I'm like, there's a rave at the Lab right now.
But that's the time. That's a sign of the times.
I tell you, I remember when I used to go to raves back in the day. The worst.
The diaper?
No, we had them fucking glow sticks, and I tell you the worst.
Around your neck?
No, not me. But the worst thing ever happened when the fire marshals turn on the lights. Man, motherfuckers.
But those raves used to go on until like noon. They used to go on like from 11 at night to noon.
From the original rave, Storm Rave, Frankie Bones, Adam X, Heather Hart,
you
Jimmy
guys are
Crash.
making me feel young. I don't know what the.
Anyway, a lot of these people will listen. Don Drew's like, damn.
I'm looking at you guys like I never did any of that shit.
What were you doing? Riding a big wheel, breaking the wheel?
I mean, I was doing my thing. I was on the other side of Brooklyn.
He was making homemade Jardinere.
He was drinking Martinelli's apple juice.
Yes.
You know, fucking putting lightning bugs in the fucking
Cutting
bottle.
celery up for the
Right,
jardinere.
that's exactly what I was doing.
I don't know. Playing.
Listen, I mean, I wasn't, you know, like I was saying here, I didn't grow up on that side of Brooklyn. I grew up on the south side of Brooklyn.
Hey,
It was wild.
before I forget, I got an interesting phone call from one of my good friends. He works for Jordan, and he wanted to know my personal opinion about the Jordan Shine. For those people that don't know, it's that $400
I got a pair.
Balenciaga look.
You got a pair?
Yeah.
You know, and he asked me what I thought about it, and I kind of thought that, you know, once Jordan steps into a $400 shoe, he's in that playpen with Tom Ford, Gucci, Balenciaga, and
Louboutin,
and that it's just like, and for all intents and purposes, a lot of young kids may understand. Like, remember when FUBU came out with suits, and their suits was like $600, but they came out when they were popping.
Yeah.
And us in the urban community, and that's not black or white, it's just the urban community felt like, if I'm going to spend $600 on the suit, I love FUBU, the jerseys, but I'm maybe $150 within a purple label.
or even Armani can go up a little bit more, a couple more hundred.
You know what I'm saying?
Boss.
Yeah, so
Boss.
I feel that Jordan kind of did the same thing with the Shine. The shoe is dope.
Listen, I got a pair.
What do you feel
It
about
reminds
it?
me of 2 Chainz.
I'm telling you, no, I got
I
a
hate
pair.
them. I think they.
And I have
think
two.
they're
I'll tell you
ridiculous.
one thing. I'll tell you. Here's my quick opinion. I know what clock is running down, but the materials are incredible.
But they didn't do any storytelling.
No, I know they didn't.
Yeah.
They put on Russell Westbrook. I didn't understand that storytelling. But the materials, the smell of it. I don't know if people remember going back in the day going to buy a leather jacket, and we
Canal
got
Street.
the official Canal Street, like leather jacket. Them shit smells so good, man. And I'll tell you one thing.
It stink your whole closet.
Yeah,
up.
that Shine smells good. The leather is beautiful. It's you know, I'm gonna wear it to something simply
Did you buy
dressed. Come on, I went to buy it.
Forget
When the
about
last
it.
time I bought Jordan? But the
Flex.
Yeah.
No flex
But
zone.
Pete, that's
No flex.
but that's
No.
important. That's an important
No
part of
flex.
it because that shoe's $400, and we're talking to people who got to buy the shoes.
No,
Not everybody
first
gets
off-
them delivered to their
no,
doorstep.
I know that, but hear this out. We're talking about a Jordan Shine, okay? Trust me. Years ago, when people were getting packages all around me, I'm talking about, and I didn't want to mention names, but decent people who were putting on in the culture, really, you know, out there and knowing what's going on. Because keep in mind, a lot of Nike people, you know, people love them, but they're not in tune with what's going on. They're not in the street. They don't know the movement of what's going on. So at this time, this is what you would get in compensation.
Right.
Like, you know, so I was working with the Dornbecker Foundation. I wasn't getting. It's funny how that worked for me because like I had my hand in, you know, helping them out and
First couple of
talking
years,
with them.
Dornbeckers were ignored.
Yeah. So
They-
like
They were at Nike
yeah,
outlets.
Yeah. So I was working with them on that, and so like my seeding never came from flexing. My seeding came from like, and I like the way it started because it came from some charity type shit
Right.
for me to get involved in that shit. But you're talking about the Jordan Shine, so you know we're talking about something different. And to be honest with you, when it's sitting against Balenciagas and Louboutins, I mean, if you want to go buy Jordans, you go buy Jordans. You understand?
Right.
So, you know, I don't understand the thing of it, but you know what?
But I think if they told the story about the craftsmanship and they told the story about the materials, it would work because one thing that Jordan does a great job at is storytelling. Like I leave Jordan conferences feeling that I could be Mike, I could be Russell. They do a great. Their cinematography and their music. And
They've always told the story.
You know, they told a story, and I think the Shine kind of it was limited, but it just missed out on a couple of things.
But is the Jordan logo? I mean, to your point earlier, I mean, is the Jordan customer gonna buy a Balenciaga?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
think they all-
you have to have that in your arsenal. In this day and age, you have to have that in your arsenal. You know,
Well-
people think like they only have to have suits for when they go to court. Don't wait till that time that you get arrested that you want to go buy a suit.
But back in the day, the same dudes that were wearing Pumas and stuff,
They're wearing
still had
Pradas.
Gucci. They had
They're
Gucci's and Pradas and stuff. You know, it's a connection.
Ballys.
Yeah, but my
Please,
thing,
yo, put away. If you got patent leather Pradas, please take them and throw them in the garbage now. Don't, you know, people got to stop wearing patent leather Pradas.
I still see him in the hood too.
Nah, man.
Canal Street
It
Specials.
drives me nuts, man.
Canal Street Specials. But should Jordan play in that ring with those big boys, or should they just leave all the performance stuff to themselves and try to,
I think Jordan could try whatever they want, as long as they roll it out right, you know.
Right.
And if people believe in it, like yo, that's the thing about
because
sneakers.
they tried shoes before the Blase.
Yeah, the Baze, yeah.
You remember they tried that, and they tried a couple of shoes.
I said it last
sneaky
week.
shoes.
I think that everything outside of the Jordan shoe itself, like, and even the retro, really, because I don't really even think the current Jordan game shoes are all that. But I think they really, I don't want to say struggle because they put numbers up and they make money. But as far as aesthetically, I don't think the shoes are good.
You think it's
Well,
too much? You think that?
I don't think
The sneaker culture is to blame. It's as
They-
much as
they're answering a
the
demand.
sneaker culture
sneaker
is to blame.
culture is to blame for me not thinking the shoes
Shops
are
do
good.
it. Listen, I'm explaining to you. This is why. This is why it's there to blame. You know how many people don't wear it for performance anymore? You know,
Nobody wears it for performance.
So Jordan's
so
not gonna-
why would they make?
kids playing?
I know, but what?
they want to attempt to?
Yeah, but why would they make it? And the materials obviously aren't the same no more. I mean, you've been around a while.
Yeah.
Or you could smell, you could feel, you could
Now
see.
they start
They're not
cracking
made.
after
They're not
stuff
made
on
the same anymore.
Right.
But it's always. I mean, people. It's more of a fashion statement now. It's not performance. And the performance shoes they're making are high. Who's buying that? When you play ball, you don't got money like that. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
but I'm part of that privileged crew that is able to get some of the performance through and wear test them, and I love the mellow, the way it felt.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the way it looked.
And I like the 28,
Yeah,
the
on-
low.
yeah,
I like
on-
the low. I didn't like the
the SE,
zip one.
the SE. You like
I
the
like the-
28
I
SE?
wore it for a little bit. And
I got you a pair of those.
yeah, and my fat foot couldn't handle
Well, you
it.
Right.
mean anything?
You got fat
can-
foot.
yeah,
You need
yeah,
New
I do.
Balance
This-
wide.
This
you know?
mother right
I
here.
don't need New Balance wide. I
Yeah.
don't need that.
Yeah, I like when people tell me like,
Yo, he wears Tim's. They're like Rod Lavers. They just
Come on,
roll
man.
up.
Come on.
hey,
I mean,
but you know what? What about
stabilizers.
but what about even like you know what? For us being older sneaker guys and you know, like sometimes we're like closed-minded on a lot of things. Look at the Jordan Future. When I first seen them, I was like, that shit is garbage. I love them now. I wear them, they're so comfortable. Like they look good.
I feel the same thing about that shoe. I can't. People were dissing me. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
it's almost like
It's a Roshi.
people
Roshi. I said,
hate.
this will knock the Roshi
Yeah,
out the box.
like people hate what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? People hate what they like right away when somebody doesn't know enough about something.
Right.
They hate on it.
Those are
It's
whack.
normal. You know, normal people do that, but you got to keep an open mind.
But
Real quick,
sometimes stuff is whack.
Before we wrap up, what's your ultimate summertime shoe? Since we're wrapping up something, what's that shoe that you can wear during the summertime that all is good?
Some Nike flip flops, man. Nike flip flops
With socks on?
With socks?
Nate, with socks on, most definitely.
Are you a pedicure guy, Reggie?
I used to be, but I don't take care of I got kids now, man.
What's that? Doesn't mean nothing. I got kids.
Are you
pedicures,
got a
manicures.
kid. I
Okay,
got four
I got a-
kids.
I
You
got a
do it. You
daughter.
sit in the chair.
I got. I mean, first of all, listen. I got a daughter.
He does daddy daughter pedicures.
So we go in
okay.
there. We get a pedicure. She doesn't get the glass of wine. Okay, but I do. I sit there. I get the glass of wine. Listen, presents over presents. You got to be there for your kids.
So
They bring him the gabagool.
Nah.
What's your summertime sneaker?
Man, Jordan 3, black cement. I could wear that till the day I die. I could wear.
It's a
If I
great
could wear
shoe.
it in
It's the
prison,
best shoe
heaven,
ever.
wherever in the pizza shop.
At
Wherever I could-
Leone's?
Leone's.
You don't like Leone's?
I don't know, but you know
don't
what?
know
see,
Leone's.
you know what says something to me?
What?
And my man G's been a fresh pair of Stan Smiths.
I like
With no-
green
with no
ones. The
sock,
green,
with the green
the green
backs.
ones.
Gotta
Only
be
the
socks.
green.
No,
Only
no
the green,
shows.
but not
Green is
socks.
classic.
No,
Green is
no
classic.
shows or powder feet.
No shows.
No shows
I
or
don't believe
powder
in no
feet.
socks.
powder
man.
Nah,
That's
no
nasty.
shows. No shows.
No shows. No socks is nasty, B.
Come
That's
on.
Jay. That's how Jay rolls.
That's how I roll. Baby powder. Shower to shower. That's how we get down back in the day.
Yeah, but even you're a big guy. You're gonna sweat. Your feet are gonna
It's
stink.
okay when you had as
And
many pairs as
Toes
me.
start smelling
Listen.
like cheese.
You gotta put those.
You have to have baby powder and baby wipes on you at all.
No, I don't.
Here this guy comes.
I don't.
All
I
right,
feel
guys.
like these are
You
necessary.
know, we gotta wrap now. Anything else we're forgetting? Next week we got a great guest.
The audio. We really got to get this audio right.
Well, we're gonna fine tune it. But next week we got Nigel Sylvester.
Nigel
Nice.
Sylvester next week. Yeah.
Nice.
Big
you know,
Nigel.
Big up Nigel Sylvester is gonna come through, talk about his documentary with Pharrell, his Nike signature shoe.
Yep.
Gonna be a good guest. Thanks, Combat Jack and Pete coming out.
No,
Yeah.
thanks for having us, man. This is fun.
Give
man.
everybody information about your show now.
Yo,
We-
check out the Combat Jack, combatjackshow.com. You also can check us out on iTunes, the Combat Jack Show, SoundCloud, the Combat Jack Show.
Woo!
Twitter is combat_Jack. Instagram is Reggie Osse, REGGIEOSSE, Premium Pete. Where can they find you?
God damn, this guy, holy you see that? It's like one take, man. For those that know me or don't know me, listen, I want to leave you on this. Wear what you like. Don't worry what anybody says,
Yeah, but
man.
what if you didn't
Especially
actually give a
with Don
message?
Drew.
Wait, wait,
No.
Nobody asked.
this
Nobody.
is true.
Nobody
I
asked
don't
for your
care.
inspirational.
Don't
quote.
let the shops do it confuse you. Wear what you like, internets. Wear what you like. Premium Pete on Instagram, on Twitter. You
You got to eat this.
You got to eat this.com. Me and Bum B got a site on that we put together.
Can you call
food
it? Give us a
site.
spot. Can you call out the trilogy to come through the show?
Why not?
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
think
All you
he's-
got to do is ask.
Give
People
us-
afraid to ask.
Give us the give us the food spot, the new food spot that you found.
Sweet Chick BK.
Woo!
Get your chicken
On
and waffles
Bedford
on.
Avenue in
Yes.
Brooklyn, sweet chick.
Bedford and where?
I think it's
Like north something.
Yeah,
Like, dude,
north
just
north
drive
sixth,
down till
maybe
you
north
see it.
sixth.
Just put it in the fucking
Just put it. Google Sweet Chick
yeah,
BK.
Google it.
Sweet Chick BK.
No,
Chicken and waffles?
Chicken and waffles.
Good.
what about Mikey's?
Mikey's ice cream.
Mikey's
On
ice cream and waffle.
Mikey likes it ice cream
Mikey
on
likes it.
Oh,
Lower East Side, Avenue A. Sneaker lover, and the dude has his own ice cream flavors. He makes up like mint condition. You know what I mean? He has like all inspirations to make. Listen, support that brother. He's a good dude, man. But yeah, you can find me, like I said, Premium Pete. You got to eat this. Is a food side I have. Sneaker Tube is that Combat Jack show.
Yes.
Being a father, being a sneaker lover, being a skinny fat kid.
Jay.
Yo, that's it. We're out. We're 3 minutes over time.
Mhm.
And we're out. I'm gonna need the Sport Blues this weekend. I'm gonna get a couple pair. I'm in that couple. I don't know. I gotta find out if I can get them. Let's see if my plug works.
Your plug, huh?
Yeah. Shit ain't like it used to be, bro.
And then thanks for having us again.
Listen, I wish we would have.
appreciate it.
I mean, I wish we would have had the audio stuff right.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll be
you
back
know,
again.
You guys, I mean, like, we could go into so many. I don't feel like we really went in depth in anything. You guys can talk about so many different things, but I think, we wanted to touch a little bit on the hip hop and a little bit on the cultural stuff and a little bit on the social issues and talk about some sneakers. So
I think we did a good job.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And you know what? I approve of the sit down because for a while I didn't approve of you guys using Italian mafia tactics when there was nobody here. Like I know Drew's partial at time, but then like his last name confused me. I'm like, and then I know you're not Italian. I'm like, why are these people using sit down things that I've been involved in, like sit downs? You know what I mean?
Right.
That I've been to.
Right.
But I'm
But
glad.
I thought I was a friend of yours.
So now you're a friend of mine.
Friend of ours.
The sit down on Power 105.
Power 105, New York's hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
I am Don Drew. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Don Drew. Jay?
Sneaker Sensei. Everybody knows where to find me at Sneaker Sensei.
And catch us next week here with no audio issues, I promise.
Promise. We're gonna work all through this.
Yep, with Nigel Sylvester.
Peace.
Please.
Cheers.
Later.